Boom. All right. Here we are once again, everybody. The first 20 seconds are key. Does Ernie have his audio working? Sounds like at least I got the intro song going. And now we're going to see, does YouTube love us or does YouTube hate us? We're going to see if the videos are choppy. We're going to see if any of this makes any sense. Because I love always editing our episodes and hearing nothing but Dom for about 6.5 minutes. And having to chop out just him making fun of me for not knowing how these things work. Every single time. I just need to hear a little bit of my own voice. Is that weird? It sounds narcissistic, right?
I just, I hear it. But I just want to hear that beautiful voice.
First 20 seconds are key. Does Ernie have his audio working? Yeah, he does, baby. Okay.
I don't see us on YouTube, though. Do you see us on YouTube?
Yeah, that's where I'm listening to is on YouTube. Even my happy season.
Okay.
He said, woot.
I don't know. I guess my shit sucks.
Hey, I'm so happy it's somebody else this week.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, we're good.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 31 of Joystick Maverick. I am Ernie Hawkins, and joining me this week, as always, is Dominic Irvin, my host and co-host.
It's me.
With the most. Man, what a weird... I really am glad to see that you made it out of Groundhog's Day successfully.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? I was kind of worried. Like every year, Groundhog's Day comes around, and I'm always like, is this going to be the year where I get stuck in like 10,000 lifetimes of being just stuck on the same day? And I don't know how to take that. I don't know how I'm going to prepare for that, or even just if I have the means of making through that psychologically. Like that movie still blows my freaking mind that like he became a savant in so many things. It's like I think he would have to live like 10,000 lifetimes or something like that to be that good at so many things.
I legit would do what he did, where he's like jumping off of buildings, jumping in front of trains.
I would just be getting so creative. The downside is you couldn't keep like a ledger of all the ways you've killed yourself. Like you can't like go like, Dear Diary, yesterday I put the toaster in the bathtub, because the next day it's Groundhog's Day, no more diary, right? Like you'd have to do that over and over. It'd be annoying. That's the other thing I think I would hate is like I couldn't like start something and then like progress through it, especially with like things like code or learning, something that's not like a natural ability or something that you just memorize over time. Like that would just piss me off so hardcore. Like, oh man, I did such great work yesterday, but yesterday doesn't exist. Because I gotta find the love of my life and shit. But no, I digress. As usual, our episodes are brought to you by Tough Wraps. Go to toughwraps.com, use the code joystick at checkout for 10% off. I love it. It's just so simple. Just do it.
I thought we were gonna make it through an episode without an in memoriam, and then I saw the show notes and I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I realize this individual may not have anything to do with our realm typically, but you know what? I like honoring people who are somewhat famous enough to pop up on my radar, and then they die. So I'm like, oh, that person existed. Especially since I didn't know who this person was before they evidently killed themselves. But
suicide.
Yeah.
By jumping off a building. Yeah.
Bonkers. So in memoriam, unfortunately, we're talking about Miss USA 2019. Cheslie, by the way. Cheslie, that name is definitely throwing me.
It's not Chelsea.
It's Cheslie Kryst.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, Kryst was an attorney with an MBA. She was crowned Miss USA in 2019. And she went on to finish in the top 10 in Miss Universe in 2019. A mere 3 years later, she killed herself by jumping from a high-rise building in New York. So that's nuts. Why do we still allow windows to open in those high-rise buildings or doors? At the same time, I've also seen people on the internet that put their bed on like the balcony in a high-rise, and I'm like, that's kind of cool though. Like you wake up and it's just like skyline. Oh, that's pretty dope. I guess to each their own. R.I.P. That sucks. I guess my brain kind of goes, oh man, you've won a beauty contest, you've got your law degree, or you're working as an attorney with an MBA. Seemingly everything's going your way, and then here we go. It just shows that depression and anxiety are motherfuckers.
Not exclusive to the poor.
Nope.
Or the unsuccessful. So yeah,
not at all. But RIP to her. Hopefully, she's happier. Or if you believe we're in a simulation, hopefully she gets another life when it gets to restart in the next round. On that note, as we always do, starting with the downer.
Really awesome. It's a really great way to start the show.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I didn't really think about the segue between Groundhog's Day, killing yourself, and then going into the person who killed themselves, but that was lucky. That was really nice. Thanks for that, Cheslie. Moving right along. In the state of gaming, we're kicking off this episode, I think, with two kind of big hitters for me. A lot of the games that are being released, or at least that are marked for release in February, are kind of happening towards the end of the month that are like the big, heavy hitters. But the beginning, there's kind of these things that have been ported over, or things that are getting released on like other consoles, maybe like 6 years after they were originally released on something else. But this one, we at least get the Waylanders. Looks pretty freaking fun. I'm actually kind of excited about it, mainly because it's on PC. Actually, it's on Steam. You can buy it. It looks fun. It's just to read the synopsis. I like the idea that they played with here. It's set in the mythological kingdom of Chaldia, which is based on Galicia, mixing Galician and Celtic mythology. So Galician makes me think of it's Gaelic, right? So it's all based off of that old Celtic Gaelic mythology. The game puts the player in the role of a warrior, guardian, explorer, mage, healer, or rogue, coming from human, Moro, Fomorian, or werewolf background. You know where I'm going. Werewolf. All day. I would love to see a werewolf healer. That would just look ridiculous.
You can play Cleric Worgen in World of Warcraft.
That's true.
I think so.
If I played World of Warcraft anymore.
There was no Cleric in World of Warcraft. Priest.
Priest.
You can play Priest in World of Warcraft. Mike is probably rolling over right now like, get it right, fucker. That's the class that made you quit the game to begin with.
You bitches, bitch. In addition to choosing the character's class and race, players can mark their origin by choosing from a Celtic soldier, Celtic druid, Egyptian, a Moray. I'm definitely screwing up that word. Looks like more. Okay. I'm gonna go with more. More diplomat, more protector, Ares hound, mercenary, alpha wolf, and slave. Throughout the game, players encounter various companions who play major roles in the game's plot and gameplay. It reminds me of like, how do I put that? Like a kind of like World of Warcraft, but a little bit more, I guess, with the characters a little bit more detail. Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to hearing a little bit more about it. Obviously, I'm waiting for my Steam Deck to come out, and then I'll play it then. You know what I mean? But
hell yeah.
For now, I'm just going to have to be envious and watch a little bit of the reviews online. Next up, though, I've watched the game. Not only did I watch the gameplay footage for this, it got me super hyped. I put it on, and even Michelle was like, "Is that Rosario Dawson?" I'm like, yeah, I've seen her twice this week. She plays a 3D model. It's her voice, it's her 3D face in Dying Light 2, Stay Human, which is set 15 years after the zombie outbreak in Haran. Protagonist Aiden Caldwell ventures into Villador, which is Villador. We need more names of cities that end in door, you know?
Gondor. I was trying.
What? Mordor?
Mordor.
Yeah. we need to hold the door. Hodor?
Yeah, hold the door.
Hold the door.
Yeah.
The last standing city on Earth as he embarks on a journey to search for his lost sister, Mia. In his journey, he would encounter different warring factions who battle for control of the city. I started giggling because Mia always in my brain goes to Fast and Furious. And I just imagine what this whole game would be like if it was just Dominic Toretto looking for Mia. Just saying things about family every 15 minutes, but you would just hear Vin Diesel's voice throughout the entire game. That would be magical. But the graphics look insane. I'm really hoping I can do any kind of ray tracing on the Steam Deck when it does come out, or at least on Xbox Series 1. I will be able to play this tomorrow. So it comes out tomorrow. Some of us will be working tomorrow. Some of us have the day off for reasons. So hopefully you enjoy.
Some of us are driving to another city.
Oh, okay.
So, Dying Light. I have the first one. I installed the first one a few times. I don't think I ever booted it up.
Is this another one of the?
Looks cool.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it for 5 hours, and then
pretty much. I didn't even play it for 5 hours. The trailer for the first one was sweet because it had a Woodkid song, and that's typically how you grab me. Like if you just put Woodkid in it, because it like came like that trailer came out a couple years after like we were all listening to Iron like on repeat at work. Here's the thing that like Dying Light 2 has been marketed as that has completely turned me off for the game, and that is like it's gonna take 500 hours to beat, bitch. I played Destiny 2 for about double that over 3 years. What makes you think that I'm going to play Dying Light 2 for 500 hours? I could barely get through 50 hours of Assassin's Creed Valhalla before I was like, this is just too long.
Dude, somebody's going to come out should be like, I beat it in 9 hours. That 500 hours is bullshit. You don't have to do any of these side missions.
I'm just tired of this market. Like, and like it's not just Dying Light that does it. Dying Light is kind of like the last one. It's kind of the most egregious one right now. But games keep marketing themselves as like, it'll take 300 hours to beat, 250 hours to beat. Like, I don't want that shit. Like, God of War for PS4, if you just blaze through the story, it's like 24 hours. That's the sweet spot. Like I said, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I have like 52 hours in that game. And I'm like, I was getting the fatigue at the end of it where I was just like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. Where I'd play it for like 5 minutes and be like, I'm fucking bored.
Is it because you feel like you don't progressing through the storyline fast enough, or that you're
right,
not hitting
and you get
enough
all the
epics
cool shit at the end of the fucking game?
Yeah, I hate
like,
that. I fucking hate that.
And that's the thing. Like, I saw someone's review about Dying Light 2, and they were like, "I'm 14 hours into it, and I don't feel like I'm getting any stronger or anything." And then like the first comment is some person that's like, "Oh man, 13 hours into it, you're not even in the like first part of the game. You got to be like 30 or 40 hours into it." I'm like, by 30 or 40 hours, I'm fucking done.
Let's be honest,
like,
we're probably gonna all get this and like be done with it by Saturday. Like, we're over that. But I'll try.
It's gonna be the same thing with Elden Ring. Like, I hope Elden Ring is not like this, where it's like 500 hours to beat. I think I read a number about Elden Ring where it was like 30 or 40 hours if you just play the story, which I'm like, all right, like that's pushing it.
Yeah.
But like I'll probably end up giving that a legit shot.
That's like a full month, maybe a little extra of like nights and weekends casual play.
Right.
Like that's really kind of the sweet spot for me. If I can be like, oh, in February or in March I played X, that feels about right. It's about the same amount of time it takes me, like a 5th grade slow learner, to read a book. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and like crush it. I'll take my time. Because I'm a slow reader anyway, so I'm just going to be like... And plus, I daydream. I don't know if you do this, where you like get through 10 pages and you're like, I have no idea what just happened. And you got to go back 10 pages, like, shit. Yep.
It's taken me like 3 weeks to read the 4th Percy Jackson book because of that. Where I just like... I'm like, what the fuck did I just listen to? Like,
I'm not going to lie to you, man. I was tempted to read them when you said you were reading them, and then like 2 minutes later, they were like, oh, releasing on Disney+. I'm like, guess what?
Just watch the TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, they
each season's the book, so which is awesome, and they're doing the Kane Chronicles on Netflix, which is the Egyptian version.
Oh, that's cool.
By Rick Riordan. Like, I found out there's an Egyptian version. There's Magnus Chase, which is Asgard, which Magnus Chase is like Annabeth Chase's cousin, I think, who's the daughter of Athena and Percy Jackson. Like, yeah. It's pretty cool. Like, and then there's a Roman god one, which they're kind of alluding to in the 4th book too. So
right, because they're Greek gods.
I was like, yeah, because they're Greek gods,
right,
and I'm like, I thought Greek gods and Roman gods were the same, but apparently they're not.
Kinda, they have different names.
Yeah, Jupiter, Zeus, Helios is yeah, like yeah. I mean, but yeah, like I want shorter linear games. Like, me and Mike were talking about this for hours the other day. Like, I am fucking tired of open world games. I want to play Pokemon Legends of Arceus because the mechanics look really cool. And, like, I'm really excited about it. But it's all open world, and I'm just bored.
Let me ask you a dangerous question. Is it because of the amount of time it takes to get from one place to another?
100%. It's also the getting lost.
Yeah, that's definitely...
Like, if they don't put a fucking marker up and, like, there's no direct path to where you got to get to, like, that happens all the time in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where you're like, all right, I got to go 800 fucking miles this way. But there's 4 mountains in the middle of the way, so I gotta go all the way around everything. Like,
that's when you just you like tape your controller in a direction, you just lay it down and walk away.
Right.
Like, hopefully, I
give me Devil May Cry, which is linear. Bayonetta, which is linear. I mean, shit. Even the first couple of Assassin's Creeds were kind of open world, but they were small.
Right. All in a city, more or less.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you, man. It's the reason I used to get so annoyed at like the first like patch from World of Warcraft, when no matter what the new expansion comes out, you're in a new area and there's no way you can use a mount. I'm like, dude, I get it. You don't want me to fly around, but at least let me get.
That's why I come at the end of the fucking expansion, because I'll just pay to fucking boost everything up, and then I'll just raid and play dungeons, and like I don't fucking do any of that.
Yeah.
I played through the campaign of Shadowlands, and I was like, this is fucking boring.
Dude, it sucks.
It's
the number one reason
boring.
that Michelle drops off and I drop off, because we're like, God, I hate. Even though I'm on a mount and I'm moving 120% faster, it feels like I'm still walking in slow motion. It's the worst. So, on that note, hopefully Dying Light... Well, since Dying Light kind of takes place, it feels linear, right? It's in that town of Valador, whatever it's called. Valador? Yes, Villador. But hopefully that gives it some quick pace. I'm definitely interested to see how the zombies play out a little bit more. Obviously, I put the picture up in the slide here. Is that creepy-looking, glowing abomination thing with like weird petrified spider arms coming out its back. But should be fun either way, at least for the Dom 5 hours, I think.
I'll give it a shot when it comes on Game Pass.
There you go. I like it. I like it a lot. Right now, number 4, or actually, not number 4, excuse me, I'm reading a playback numbers 4. This week on Coming Soon. The only thing I really cared about in Coming Soon is why it's the only thing on Coming Soon is Halo coming out.
I don't know why everybody's
Plus.
shitting on this fucking trailer, dude.
I
think this looks cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I know everybody's pissed that Cortana's not blue, but like,
I know.
God damn it, dude!
She's
like,
blue-ish.
You can't make fucking anybody happy.
She's
I guess
bluish.
I guess I'm just angry at the internet because everybody sucks right now. But like, you can't make anybody. I think it looks cool. I like Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief. I like him as an actor. He was great, and he was like one of the redeeming qualities of American Gods as Mad Sweeney. And I also saw him in Ashley and my parents were watching. Defending Jacob with Chris Evans, that Amazon show or something. He's in it as like a prosecuting attorney, Pablo Schreiber, and I was like, man, he's cool. I like him.
I like him in Orange Is the New Black as Porn Stash, which is such a great nickname.
I didn't even know he was in that.
Yeah, he's one of the guards, I guess, at the prison.
Okay.
Antics ensue.
I like him. Yeah.
He's definitely got like good vibes as far as just whenever he's in something, he's either like really great at being a dickhead or really great at being a dickhead. So whenever I see him,
I think he's in that Benghazi movie too with John Krasinski.
He's probably in that, and I know he was in. Oh God, what's the movie? It just came out. It literally just came out with Ice Cube's kid and Gerard Butler.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Trying to like rob
Reign of Fire. About the dragons. With Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey.
With Ice Cube.
What a star-studded cast for a shitty movie.
Yeah, Gerard Butler was in it too. Yeah, that's right.
Dude!
Yeah, he gets exploded. That was like during the time when anything Gerard Butler was in, he would die. You just like knew he was...
It's like Sean Bean. Ever since GoldenEye, Sean Bean did it. As everything.
It's terrible being famous for that, but it's also wonderful at the same time. Mahaffey's been tripping us up in chat, and I apologize for not looking faster. He said that platformers have stated doing this thing where they make you crisscross across the map. That's annoying. I already hate people that are admitting to doing so. He's also admitted that he's quit Ori and Metroid Dread because of it, and all because of the amount of time it takes to travel. Play. He said
I'm with Mike.
The travel time sucks.
I'm completely with Mike on this one. Like, I want to play those games really bad. I want to play Breath of the Wild.
But again,
it's too big.
It's going to take you forever.
It's too big.
It's so wild. The breadth of it is.
He also said that Defending Jacob is on Apple TV Plus, which should tell you everything you need to know about Apple TV Plus. That they only market Ted Lasso. Everything else is.
Dude, I mean, I joke about it, but like I figured out. I think I saw that Sci-Fi might have bought Foundation or something like that, or USA.
What? No,
yeah,
that needs to stay on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, so Foundation's now on something else, and that's why I think they were already planning on selling it, but they had already announced it coming out on Apple TV at the keynote last year. So that's why I think they kept it for the first season, and then like immediately after the first season ended, it's going somewhere else. Could not tell you 100% what it is because I think it's boring to listen to people Google shit on the show. But yeah, definitely annoying. But real quick, the synopsis for Halo.
Read it to me.
Halo is set to follow an epic 26th century conflict between humanity and an alien threat known as the Covenant. Halo will weave deeply drawn personal stories with action, adventure, and a richly imagined vision of the future. There's no Halo in it. We're not on a Halo ring. This is like a prequel to the game, basically, right? Like, essentially. So they're trying to find the sacred ring, right? Like the other Spartans are in it, but I think this is kind of, I hate when it happens, a little like flexibility with the source material. You know what I mean? Like people want to put their own little creative spin on it. Oh yeah, now Master Chief is programmable, he's upgradable, but now he's no longer our puppet. Like that kind of weird. But I digress. I think it'll at least be a fun show. I know even just the trailer, I had it up again. Like I gauge things if I just have a bias about something, whether or not like the other half enjoys it. If she's watching it and she goes, okay, that looks awesome, I can't wait to watch that. And I go, right, okay, cool. Somebody who's like not deeply immersed in the mythology of something or the lexicon of it thinks it's nice. That means I'm not just like, oh, I'm so
and then she like watches
out
it with you. She like watches it with you for like 3 or 4 episodes, or like 2 episodes, and then watches it by herself, or like completely falls off and is like, I'm bored with this, and then you're kind of left dick in hand, and you're like, can I watch it without her? Can I not watch it without her?
Oh, dude, that halfway is the worst. I think the most latest thing to do that happened was Book of Boba Fett, which we'll get to later in the show. But the only reason that she watched the last week's episode, it's like it's pretty much The Mandalorian, and she's like, okay, well, I'm back in. I'm like, it's essentially the same universe, just a different person.
We're going to talk about Boba Fett, but Ashley said her biggest problem with all the Star Wars shit right now is that we can't get the fuck off Tatooine. And I think she also said something about this episode because of that. She was like,
really?
No. This is nice.
Now we're finally off the desert planet. Yeah. I have to
Mike
agree.
said that the Halo TV show is not canon, which kind of kills my interest in it a little bit.
Then why even
honestly, I don't even fucking care. I couldn't even tell you the story of Halo, to be honest.
There are rings in space. Speaking of Boba Fett, there was a Halo in the last episode, and we didn't even talk about it.
There was.
Yeah, that whole first like segment takes place on a Halo ring, and I was just like, oh, what? There's there like scientific reasons that this space station would somehow have atmosphere on a ring? Like bonkers.
I think it has to do with gravity because you see it a lot in Gundam too, where it's spinning. And there's like a habitat, there's like an actual atmosphere and everything on the station, and it's spinning, and it has to do with the like doing a gravitational field. But sense. It's Star Wars, and there's never not been not gravity on it. I don't think I've ever seen anybody floating in just space in Star Wars.
Like, yeah, you would think maybe even the N1 like starfighter would have a little bit of things floating around in the cockpit.
Like I think he has a fucking cup holder in there, and it's not doing anything. It's just the liquid's just staying right in it.
That's a good point, actually. All right, lightning round is probably our biggest round this week, and I'm gonna blast through it. I'm gonna blast. Here we go. Lightning round this week. Let me see. I'm gonna get my trigger finger here ready. Boop boop. All right, lightning round. Blizzard announces cross-faction raiding, dungeons, and pop? Dungeons and what? I can't even read my own notes. For Warcraft, blah, 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 blah. Again, we're not playing right now for obvious reasons. Fuck that shit.
That would be PvP, Ernie, not pop.
Did autocorrect just get me? PvP.
Yeah.
Thank
PvP.
you. I appreciate that. New York Times buys Wordle, which is insane. supposedly, according to Wordle, the guy behind the original game, he said it's still going to be always free to play, but we all know it's going to be like free to play 3 times a month, and then you're going to pay for a membership or something like that. So that's going to be annoying.
Did they actually announce that you can play 3 times a month, and then it's going to be a paid membership?
That's like a typical New York Times kind of. You want to play this game? Here you go. Next up, Stark Tower fixed in Hawkeye. Very true. I did confirm they fixed the friggin' sign. I appreciate that they're going back and doing these edits. I'm also annoyed as shit by it.
Did they really? I cannot believe they actually did that.
Yeah, so...
You went back and watched it, and they did?
Yeah, I went and watched it, and it was even confirmed on multiple sites. Make sure I wasn't, like, having some kind of, like, Mandela effect or whatever. Mandela? Whatever. Joker sequel with Joaquin Phoenix expected to begin filming next year. Tom Brady retires. Fuck you, Tom. I love
Joe Burrow's America's quarterback now.
It doesn't matter. I was watching the Joe Burrow Chiefs game. The Bengals Chiefs game, and Michelle heard somebody call Joe Burrow Joe Cool, and she was like, "Oh, geez, Joe Cool. Sounds like you Joe Suck, basically." And I was like, "Yeah." And then 2 minutes later, she sits down. She starts watching the game with me. And he pops up on the screen. She's like, "Oh, he's good looking." I'm like, "Yeah, that's Joe Cool. Like, you were just ragging on him." She's like, "Okay, whatever." I'm like, "I don't need you to worry about you and Joe Burrow. I already have a problem with you and Tom Hardy." You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it chill. I want to enjoy the football game. But
I just feel bad for Patrick Mahomes, dude, because like it has nothing to do with like nobody hates Patrick Mahomes. Everybody hates everybody around Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's definitely got a shitbird inner circle.
He's got like a shitty brother and a shitty fiance, and
they better
Patrick
enjoy
Mahomes
it while
is
it
a cool
lasts,
dude.
They better enjoy it while it lasts. That State Farm money might be the only thing that's going to keep that house afloat. If he just keeps letting them just ruin his reputation. I mean, Jackson Mahomes, all his TikToking and his, I can't even tell you his wife's name because I'm just infinitely annoyed that she just continues to behave like a jerk.
Just an asshole.
Just a jerk. And I'm sorry, jerk is not exclusive to men. It is a universal term, and she definitely earns it.
I need to find the New York Times. It was the New York announcement of Tom Brady's retirement. It was on the New York Post.
I think you shared it with me if it's in our text chain.
It's like, New York TV station nails Tom Brady. Yes, it is. It says, hang on. Tom Brady, who lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants during his legendary 22-year NFL career.
Read it.
Retired.
Zoom in, camera. There you go. Good job, camera. That's such a great New York thing. I realize it's like all the like comments to that tweet were just like, "Oh, whatever, New York, screw you." And I'm like, it's not wrong though. I mean, technically.
Also, if you're a Patriots fan, I wouldn't be defending Tom Brady at all right now, considering you just got ghosted in his retirement speech.
Dude,
completely.
It was like 6 or 7 like Instagram slides of just thank you, love you, kiss, 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 and nothing about the Patriots, the Kraft family, Bill Belichick, nothing. I can see if it's like, okay, technically I'm going to give my goodbye to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because that's the team I'm leaving right now. And then at the end, like, say there's a special or something like that, I'll give my full-on thank you to my entire careers. Like, even like his college at Michigan. So, like...
something like that.
Yeah, that would make sense. But
he, like, commented on a Patriots post, too, after. And was like, love you, Pats fans. Like, if I was a Patriots fan, I'd be burning my Tom Brady jerseys right now.
It's even worse when, like, the picture he used for that announcement that he was retiring is the picture of him at the game that he defeated the Bucks defeated the Patriots in the playoffs. Yeah. So great. So damn great. I love that shit. It's petty, but it's great. This is old, but at the same time, I still love it. Doctor Strange had I couldn't even tell you who did this, but they did a little homage to Evil Dead. Sam Raimi famously created and directed those movies. But there's a version of the movie poster for Doctor Strange with Scarlet Witch being Ash trying to crawl out. Yeah. And then what looks to be the arm of evil Doctor Strange gripping her throat and trying to kill her. Fantastic stuff. Next up is also something that nobody ever wanted, but I definitely can't wait to try it. Just to say I did. The hard Mountain Dew Baja Blast Zero Sugar. If that's not a mouthful, I don't know. But
I'm completely in on it. This shit looks awesome.
I heard that Mountain Dew Baja Blast is just like that blue Gatorade, blue chill or ice chill, whatever it's called, mixed with like normal Mountain Dew.
I'm not buying it. I think it's terrible.
I definitely will try this though. I will try it, at least one can just to get the little something. Yeah. So I can say, don't do that. It sucks. Versus
real
just
quick,
having
if you hear my dog in the background, I'm so sorry. He has lost his fucking mind.
I don't know your dog at all. I think your mic's doing a great job at canceling it out.
Literally, I texted my wife and I was like, "Can you please come get the fucking dog?" He sleeps all day. And then picks the one time while I'm actually trying to be on microphone.
He's just like grab the
most loud toys, and he's just waving it in front of my head.
That's awesome. I love your dog. What's up, Annie? And then finally, last on the lightning round here, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 to be the last movie with this team, according to James Gunn. Yeah, I think we all kind of knew that. I mean, I know Drax, Dave Bautista's is already out. I don't see how Peter Quill could continue on.
James Gunn just sounds like he's going to kill a lot of people in this movie. That's what he keeps saying.
I think that'd be fun. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of like Rocket and Groot. They got to survive, right? Everybody loves those two. I mean, I don't think Bradley Cooper would be upset to keep making money just doing voice acting work. Same thing with Vin Diesel. But like everybody else.
I think the fact that they brought back Zoe Saldana's character, even though they killed her in Infinity War or Endgame, Infinity War. I don't think Peter Quill's going anywhere. I just want to bring up the beef that I started in our Slack channel last week, where I had a few drinks and started shit. Well, you were there.
Tell me more. Yeah,
I was sitting on the Guardians, shitting on the Guardians of the Galaxy. Mike got real mad about it.
Yeah, he definitely. I was like, he came to defend. They didn't know that they needed Mike to be there to defend them, but he definitely.
Honestly,
did.
I got to the point where I texted Mike and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm literally just fucking with you. I am so inebriated right now. I think I went out to dinner and I had 3 cocktails before I had anything to eat. And the place that we go, they are very heavy-handed.
Yeah,
so I was pretty much fucked up. The only comment that I stand by from that really I do truly mean is that Drax is fucking terrible. And I told Mike. And I told Mike, I think I just have a problem with wrestlers as actors.
Except for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right?
Except for The Rock. The Rock is The Rock can do no wrong in my eyes, but John Cena, get fucked. Dave Bautista, get fucked.
It's crazy to me just how much you were trashing them, and then I'm sitting there just throwing Indiana Jones references out left and right.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Just whatever, Indiana Jones.
It was so awesome.
Oh man, that's definitely one of the funnier things about our little group is we got so many different opinions and views of life that I learned so much more. I never would have assumed you were a hater on Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's nice to
I love the movie. Of that coin. Mike was literally dude, it's one of your favorite movies in the Marvel universe. I'm I agree with you. It doesn't change the fact that I think most of the main characters of that movie are fucking useless, which is not true. I like Gamora and I like Nebula and I like the character of Peter Quill.
You
don't like Chris Pratt that much.
Well, they killed off my guy with the fin for a head.
He was the best part.
Yeah,
I don't know how they're going to do Guardians 3. Michael Rooker's the fucking man, dude.
Yes,
I love him.
Yes, he is.
Would you like a chocolate-covered pretzel?
I was watching reruns of Chuck on Amazon Prime, and I didn't realize he was actually an agent for the bad guys in that show for a one-off episode.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm oh my god, it's Michael Rooker. He's everywhere. No wonder I love seeing him in all this
Adam
shit.
Baldwin represent, yo. One of the not Baldwin brothers.
That's right. Actually, before we move on, I do want to mention that we've never talked about it, but Brendan Fraser being cast as Firefly in Batgirl
fuck yeah.
is dope.
Ooh, baby.
Is dope.
Let me tell you how that's the one DC property that I'm fucking jazzed for.
Yeah, it's got
because
Brendan Fraser,
I love
Michael Keaton,
the girl playing. I love the girl playing Leslie Grace.
Yeah.
Love her. She was great in The Heights.
It's gonna be dope. I mean, it's basically all the people we like from our childhood plus some new blood. Like, give me that shit. Give me it.
Michael Keaton as like old Batman.
George of the Jungle as Firefly.
Rick from The Mummy.
Yeah, Rick. I love
The Mummy.
I love those.
That holds
movies.
up really good. The second Mummy doesn't hold up because the Scorpion King looks terrible.
Oh,
again,
dude,
first movie I ever saw The Rock in.
Bad.
He stole my heart in those movies because then they made the Scorpion King movie, which was even worse, but like made him a likable character, and you're like, man, The Rock can really act. Like he's an Oscar-worthy actor. And then like all the wrestlers started doing it, and I guess that's my problem. Is like
they saw the formula, they thought they had it, and then you realize
John Cena's like, oh, I can be in a Fast and the Furious movie too, and I can play Dominic Toretto's brother, even though I'm the most Scandinavian-looking motherfucker I've ever seen in the entire life.
Very strong Nordic bloodline.
I even think Charlize Theron says some shit about that in the movie.
Yeah, I know.
Where she was like, oh, your brother's kind of white, huh? That's weird.
Yeah, like it could not be addressed. But I digress. New releases this week. Fantastic. Raised by Wolves season 2 came out.
I saw the trailer for this, and we talked about it last week. And
yeah,
I was like, man, this looks fucking cool, and I can't believe I've never seen it.
It looks fun, and I like that the synopsis is a little bit more tight this week to help me kind of remember. So it's 2 androids, father and mother. That's their names. Pictured here in this slide is actually mother holding a what would you call that? Fetus? Because it's not quite alive. It still doesn't have eyelids that are separated.
Embryo.
Father and mother tasked with raising human children on Kepler 22b after the Earth was destroyed by a great war. As the burgeoning colony of humans threatens to be torn apart by religious differences, the androids learn that controlling the beliefs of humans is a treacherous and difficult task. For sure.
I like the guy who plays Ragnar from Vikings. He's really good. And he looks fucking creepy in this, and I really like it.
Spoiler, that character is great. Because that character definitely, it's such a weird character because there's like plastic surgery involved and shit like that. It's dope.
I want to see him in more, man. He's like, he plays his characters really well, and I'm excited for this. Last time, I think that when this first came out, it was either you or someone else said it was kind of a slog, but I heard it picks up.
I think there's some bits that are. It's definitely there's a lot of world building, right? You're explaining a previous planet that was destroyed. You're explaining a new planet that's basically uninhabitable, but kind of inhabitable. And there's potentially no life forms on the planet. And then you find that there might be. It's wild, but like, it's that's definitely cool. Worth the first couple of episodes of slogging. Next up, came out today. I've already watched the Marshawn Lynch episode of Murderville. Awesome.
Is it dope?
Awesome.
I'm excited for it.
Because he's definitely... Oh, okay, so what they're definitely doing is like giving them the premise, the special guests. They're also giving them like kind of some leeway, and you can tell people show up with puns, like ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, so they can slip them in whenever they want to seem a little funnier. But like Marshawn, I mean, we know it.
Man. Marshawn's just funny, dude.
He was quick.
He's someone I want to see, and I want to see him in more things just because he's funny. John Cena's not.
He was so funny that like people that were clearly trying to stick to the story and had a script were like trying not to break character. Like Will Arnett had to like go with his ad-libbing and just
that's awesome.
Call an imaginary person and say some shit. I was giggling my face off.
I'm excited to watch this. This looks fucking funny.
Yes. But so that came out, all 6 episodes. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
Oh, did it? Did all 6 episodes come out?
Yeah.
I want to watch the one with the girl from Schitt's Creek.
Yes, her name is
Annie. Oh my God. Oakley.
That's it.
No, it's not Annie.
That's
Oakley.
not Annie. It's Annie something. Not Leibowitz.
Potts.
Why is it not
Potter? Samsonite.
I'm
way off.
Murderville, Annie,
check out Annie Murphy. I know it's that. It's definitely Annie Murphy. It just came right to me. I was about to quote check out the buns on that guy, or check on the buns on that one, and Jeff Daniels goes, yeah, he must work out. So good. Dumb and Dumber's such a good movie. I'm sorry.
It's good unless you watch it on repeat, and then you're like, okay,
all right.
Is this funny, or am I just slowly becoming dumber and dumber?
I would say, and I'm putting myself out there, one of the funniest lines in any movie that has ever been said is when the cop, who's played by the dude from Rocket Man, is trying to pull them over, and he's like, pull over, and Jim Carrey's like, actually, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing. It's the best delivery of a comedic line in any movie. It gets me every goddamn time. Because it's so witty.
It's like, oh, you thought my response was going to be about what you're saying? This is the other direction.
It's a cardigan, but it's so good. I can't get over it.
I love it. But you know what you don't love? You don't love this guy. John Cena, Peacemaker, episode 6.
I'm waiting for all the episodes to come out, and then I'm going to watch it at one.
It's definitely, I shared with you him naming all the different people that could have been framed for XYZ instead of him.
I saw that. That was pretty fucking funny.
That was like, damn. I don't care if they're all kind of written on a folder on the desk he's sitting in front of, but that was fantastic. Of course, as always, I love myself, I love my name, so hearing Bert and Ernie also getting chosen as people to be framed for murder instead of him, fantastic. Even Ice-T tweeted a response to that saying like, hey, thanks James Gunn for trying to frame me for murder, because he gets called out with Ice Cube and Ice-T. Fantastic. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. One thing I didn't notice, and if somebody else did notice, was that the guy who plays Vigilante, whenever Vigilante is not wearing the helmet, he's kind of not in frames with many people. Because I think he was recast later on. So I think they swapped him out.
Oh, did Chris D'Elia play him? And then
I bet
they swapped him out like Tig Notaro.
It's pretty much the same thing, but like a lot tighter camera work, so it doesn't seem like they're on completely different planets. Much like Tig.
The few clips that I've seen of that actor too,
Freddie Strom
from Harry Potter.
Yeah, Freddie Stroma.
And like, he looks like he is very funny. So
what's even funnier is that Freddie Stroma and James Gunn are also two people that he suggests to have framed instead of him, and the guy responds, "Those last two aren't even real."
That's pretty goddamn.
And he's sitting there in the room with him. That's fantastic.
So good.
Yeah, I just love it. Again, not taking itself too seriously. Super fun. Oh, Annie Potts is from Ghostbusters.
That's right. She's the receptionist. Annie Potts. Yeah. And Annie Oakley's from Davy Crockett times.
I was going to say, that's pretty sure that's an older Western thing. And then, of course, Book of Boba Fett this week. Time for some spoilers.
I don't understand how this show keeps getting crazier and crazier. Because I was cool on the show for the first fucking 4 episodes. And I was like, all right, it's good. And then episode 5 came in and you're like, all right, this is fucking sweet. And then episode 6 came in and you're like, what?
Yep. And I just want to say, I'm going to try not to break my arm, patting myself in the back here. I called it. It was chainmail. I knew it.
You did.
I knew it.
Did call
little chainmail shirt, little baby shirt,
dope.
So he doesn't get killed by Kylo Ren.
The thing that has always tripped me up since watching The Mandalorian and seeing Luke Skywalker. First of all, the deep fake that they did of Mark Hamill, exceptional. You can barely fucking tell that it's actually not Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
I was like, that is so goddamn good. And like to the point where like now I just want movies with all of them in it. Like, what if Han Solo shows up at the end of fucking episode 7?
Like, that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, okay, when do we see a baby Ben Solo? Where do we see? Because that's the other thing too. Okay, so end of the episode, or the whole episode really is Luke and Grogu getting their like 1980s montage on of Luke training Grogu, right?
Yeah.
And then of course at the end, Mandalorian has talked to Ahsoka. They've had a little back and forth. He gives Ahsoka the chainmail shirt to give to Grogu, and there's a decision to be made for Grogu. Do you pick the lightsaber, which is Yoda's lightsaber, by the way, which is dope? I don't know how he snuck.
Which there's some controversy behind that.
Why? Because how did he get it?
It is, yeah, because apparently in a book that is considered canon, that lightsaber was destroyed before this.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, fucking, nah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm speechless. This fucking episode is so good.
So the
Keep
reason
talking about
no, you're fine. The reason I'm butthurt about it is because he gives him this choice. Do you choose the gift from Mando, or do you choose the lightsaber? Basically, choosing to keep your possessions of the past and holding on to those people, or do you choose the Jedi way and you take the lightsaber and you abandon all like love of the outside world? That's such bullshit. Such bullshit.
Let me
coming
tell you
from
what.
Luke fucking Skywalker, whose sister and Han Solo, and he trains his own nephew. Really, bro?
Couple of things about that. So, what I was saying before that I totally got completely sidetracked talking about how good the fucking deepfake was. Ahsoka Tano. I haven't seen all of Rebels. I've seen all of Clone Wars. Ahsoka Tano to me is still like a tiny little Togruta Padawan who like turns into a little bit of a badass in Clone Wars, and then you realize that this is after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, this is like 20 years later.
She is literally the most senior Jedi on the planet at this point, in the galaxy at this point.
Yeah,
like she is the boss. I know she fucking fights Vader at some point in Rebels.
I thought you were gonna say sleeps with Luke Skywalker, but
no. Okay. But I want to know what happens to her, because she was very much the anti-Jedi in Clone Wars.
Right.
And even from what I hear in Rebels too, where like one of the clips that I saw is like Ahsoka's talking to Vader and Vader's like, that's not the Jedi way. And her response is, I'm no Jedi. And she seems very...
Yeah, for some reason,
she seems very Jedi in this. So I want to know what the fuck happens, because I know there's like a thing with Ezra Bridger, Admiral Thrawn, because she mentions it in The Mandalorian, because she's talking about Thrawn specifically.
Right.
She's one of the most compelling characters in Star Wars, and is a product completely of Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni saved Darth Maul. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't have Bo-Katan. We wouldn't have any of this bullshit without Dave Filoni. I mean, all these memes of like give Star Wars completely to Dave Filoni, Bryce Dallas Howard, and fucking Jon Favreau are completely right.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely I think that's the way that should go. I know he was promoted to executive director or something recently. Like he definitely got a big promotion in Lucas Films, so hopefully that happens. But yeah, I think to your point, there has to be something that, you know, her change from the Jedi way had to bump her back in line. You know what I'm saying?
She's very Master Tano, like Master Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, she's found
like
that
in this, and I'm like,
and self-assurance. You know, like I know what I'm doing. I know what way I need to go. So you got to assume there was something dark that happened.
We haven't even fucking mentioned the craziest part of this episode. The craziest part of this episode.
That Grogu tries to eat a frog by floating it into his mouth, because I would do that. If I had the Force.
Fucking Cobb Vanth, Timothy Olyphant shows it down with Cad Bane.
And
I was like, what? No.
Dude, the minute I saw that hat, that wide brim, I was like, oh.
Ashley's on the couch, like fucking hitting the pillow, like, is that fucking Cad Bane?
Dude, supposedly the Cad Bane is the one who gave the dent in the helmet to Boba Fett.
Yeah, man. I cannot fucking wait. And they're even talking like episode 7 maybe popping off too. Like, Dave Filoni, you knew someone was going to show up.
But Cad Bane,
you knew like Ahsoka was probably going to show back up because it's Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Like, Cad Bane is like awesome.
He could be bluer. His mouth could be lower.
Yeah, the hat could be bigger.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that like they had a 3D model of what this character looks like, and they still were like, "No, his mouth needs to be higher. He also needs to be somehow lighter blue, even though he's constantly walking around outside in the sun." we're supposed to believe that the hat is just that great.
But dude, all the menace in his voice, it's the same voice actor from Clone Wars. Like, you're like, oh yeah. You're like,
let's go.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
I saw something that they're like setting up a showdown between Boba and Bosk and possibly Mando and Din and Cad Bane doing like an old Western style shootout in fucking Tatooine. Let's fucking go.
That's one way to get you off Tatooine, if you kill everybody in Mos Espa.
Right.
Should be dope. All right.
Also, Timothy Olyphant is like fine wine, dude. He's coming back for Justified. Did you hear that?
No, he's not.
Yes, he is, and he looks fucking incredible.
He's definitely a good looking man. I will say he's my favorite, like, newer Die Hard movie villain. Obviously, you can't replace Alan Rickman or what's his name, the guy who played the brother of Alan Rickman's character. Oh yeah,
Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber. Yes, you can't replace. And then, of course, the actor who plays his brother is, correct me if I'm wrong,
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons is Alfred to Batfleck.
Yep, he is.
So,
or he was in Dungeons and Dragons.
Or Rain of Fire.
That shitty movie with he was not in Rain of Fire, but he was in Dungeons and Dragons with Marlon Wayans.
Yes, he was. Yeah, I can't.
And the dude from Sliders.
Oh yeah, the main character guy.
Yep, I think that's him. It may not be. Looks like him.
I'm gonna unspoil this. Spoilers are gone. All right, real quick. Once again, thank you as always to our sponsor, Tough Wraps. Go buy your apparel, go buy your supplements, go buy your gear. ToughWraps.com. Use code joystick at checkout to get 10% off. Stay tough. Boop.
Hell yeah.
That's a little like audio for me to find out later. And you know what? We're making great fucking time. Great time. Final round this week. Sony Interactive Entertainment, aka PlayStation, has bought Bungie. Wow. This is, it's the same thing that we talked about a couple of weeks ago where Xbox was buying Activision and Blizzard and King or whatever. This to me is starting to truly form into like the way we've got streaming services now. You got Paramount Plus, you got Peacock Plus, whatever, where everybody starts trying to grab the studios to kind of pair with each other to make a streaming service. This is becoming the Xbox versus PlayStation grabbing studios to make their tight little subscription service, right? Where you subscribe however much a month to play all the games you want and get all your little freebies. And I'm sure there's going to be a premium or VIP subscription to get, things a day early or whatever. I can smell it with my sniffer. It's coming, man. It's coming. It's going to be annoying, and I just hope that it's somewhat affordable and not like just paywall after paywall after paywall of trying to get to the end of something or to get the better deal or whatever. Like, I can see that it's going to be one of these, okay, great, now another studio's been bought or whatever, because now I feel like they're kind of equal weighted, even though Bungie, what was it, Destiny? That's all they got really left? Like,
yeah. They're apparently
$3.6 billion for that.
They're apparently developing another IP. Yeah, dude. This is fucking nuts.
And
this is the second largest acquisition that took place that day too, because the first one being the New York Times about Wordle. So,
yeah, now the New York Times
get fucking paid, homie.
Player 3 entered the game. They're going to be the next streaming service.
So let me tell you what, dude. Let me tell you what. The two other pieces of news that came out that day, like, you got to be fucking pissed, especially if you're Activision Blizzard, when they're like, make this big announcement that cross-faction rating is coming for like. People have been begging for this, and it like completely changes up the mythos and the dynamic of the game. Yeah. And everybody's like, "Who the fuck cares?" Bungie's got bought by PlayStation.
You got to be like, undo those tweets, delete those tweets.
All right, can we just announce it tomorrow?
Yeah, seriously. It's you know what it's like. It's just like last week where Big Ben Roethlisberger announces his retirement, and 2 days later, Tom Brady, his retirement gets leaked. It's like. You're definitely stepping on somebody's toes. It sucks, man. It's definitely I think that's got to be the most infuriating thing is when you finally feel like you've hit like a good positive stride with a community that really just wants to set your entire organization on fire, and then it gets overshadowed by something like that.
It's like you were last week's news. Nobody fucking cares.
Yeah, we've all unsubscribed and canceled our subscriptions, and don't try to give us what we want now, you dickhead. And then,
I mean, I'm stoked about it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I only play Blood Elf from now on. So, like, if I play that game, it's only gonna be Blood Elf, and like, I'm gonna be the one horde bitch in the raiding party because I won't play anything else.
I think every time I've ever started a horde character it was Blood Elf. It's just a fun character, but now I hate it because people are fucking stupid and just can't keep their dick in their pants or not have hotel suites named after convicted felons.
Cosby.
But yeah, that's it, man. This week was pretty succinct. I think the main reason it was so succinct is I'm trying to make the lightning round a little bit thicker. A lot of that stuff is just like fun facts, you know? It's not like we don't really need to talk about, the Stark Tower being fixed. That's just like facts that happen. Yeah. Or like the Joker sequel begins filming next year. We don't have to go on like 10-minute rants about the Joker film.
Even though I want to talk about how I want Willem Dafoe to play the anti-Joker, like what he said, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like excited about that. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty sweet. But yeah, trying to make it beefier, trying to make these coming soons a little bit more succinct. Same thing with new releases. We're starting off with this February. We're kicking back up, and this beefier lightning round is kind of signaling that fact that we're ramping back up on like things coming out, the news coming out for production times and things like that. We typically have a lot like February, March, April. I think we get a lot of announcements like, something ended principal photography, something ended editing, and then is in final production, that kind of stuff. So we're gonna have a lot of that, especially with like shows like Halo kicking off in March, Batman coming out in March. We're just gonna have a lot. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and like I like keeping our shows tight because I don't think people want to listen to this for 3 fucking hours straight.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Just kidding. Honestly, I could listen to you talk all night. I could listen to you read the fucking dictionary.
There you go,
Ernie.
I like
Aardvark. Apple.
Atari.
Alabaster. Atari. It's a proper noun. It's not in the fucking dictionary, Ernie.
Apple. Well, isn't that how he named the company? Went to the dictionary and looked for any word that was ahead of Atari. I was like, there you go, Apple.
Is that how Jobs named it? Jesus Christ.
Supposedly that's what he did. Because it would come first in the phone book.
Fucking dickhead.
As the story goes, it comes first in the phone book.
I loved that company. I love that company still.
I'm surrounded by Apple products right now.
I have a MacBook Pro. I'm using AirPods. I have an iPhone. I have an iPad.
For sure. Oh, by the way, I mentioned to you earlier about how like I'm so happy I now have a blurred background in this video. Is because like just over my shoulder here was a terrifying little stuffed animal bear that I noticed in like editing our show. Anytime I would like lean to one side, it would just be sitting there and just looking wide-eyed at
you mentioned that, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, it's that fucking bear in the back.
Terrifying. Yeah.
The Annabeth doll, or Annabelle dog from
the show Annabelle, or the movie's Annabelle, right? Shout out to
Sam.
From
the famous movie.
Who named his kid after that doll?
No, he did not.
Not technically. But technically. It's like did Ernie name his kid after Margot Robbie? Not technically.
I thought it would. I mean, Margot is a great name, to be honest.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Margot. Especially nobody can spell it. Yeah, it's great.
I would say one thing we did. I just want to bring it up because I know that we're almost done. We didn't talk about Jackass this week, and we'll probably talk about it next week because I think it came out.
Yeah,
we don't have to talk about it at all.
It came out. I haven't seen. Obviously, I'm not going to the theater to see that. I'm waiting for it to come on Netflix or something.
It's getting like fucking rave reviews. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
I love the fact that like some of the questions in interviews for that are like, so what was different about shooting this one than the other ones? Or like a lot less senses to the hospital. like I guess even one stunt had Johnny Knoxville getting like brain damage. Like yeah,
that's
you
what
guys
I told
50.
you. I was like, I can't fucking deal with this. Like you guys are grown ass men. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, you know, I know Ryan Dunn died, but Ryan Dunn did not die filming Jackass. Ryan Dunn died in a car accident.
Yeah.
But like, one of the Nitro Circus guys died. And I'm just surprised that I'm really surprised, and you know, knock on wood, that Johnny Knoxville and Steve are still alive.
I'm more surprised that Ben Margera is still alive after Ryan Dunn's death, and just the way he's
I know that destroyed him, and it still destroys him.
Yeah, he's gone down a very dark path. But you know what? I'm still gonna probably watch it. I'm gonna laugh. And
Start the show on a dark ass note, and the show on a dark ass note.
Death sucks, but it's part of the journey. I love you, 2000 Dom.
Do you like my new glasses?
No. They're beautiful. They frame your face well. Are they new, or are you fucking with me?
No, they're new. I had black ones before that. They're brand new. I literally just got them 3 days ago.
They look great, man. They look spiffy. You look smarter.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's okay. You might have noticed, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like my wife. Do you notice anything? No. Just how beautiful you are.
Yes, that you're beautiful every day.
That's right. she's in the kitchen. She just said, "I love you."
Ashley.
She said, "Thank you."
Ashley, like 10 minutes ago. I don't know if you saw me like turn around and grab a toy and throw it out the thing.
Yeah.
She was standing at the door off camera and like trying to wave to me to like push the toy because my dog was now standing. Like she came in and grabbed the dog, put him outside, and closed the door, and he kept fucking barking at the door. And I was like, I'm gonna kill it. Like this dog sleeps all fucking day. He makes no noise. I'm on the phone all day for work, and as soon as I'm on this and I'm like actively talking, he's like, I'm gonna grab the loudest fucking toy in the house and I'm just gonna shake it behind you until you notice me.
My dogs seem to be the same way, but instead of like at nighttime, it's whenever Margot's sleeping. They'll be laying in the dog bed, sitting in front of windows, staring at the abyss, and then the minute she's asleep, just a any squeaky toy, they wear like they'll shake themselves out, like just trying to ruffle their fur. You know, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, why are you doing it right by her door? Come on.
Yeah.
But I digress. Oh man, episode 31. I almost called it episode 32 today. I'm glad it's in the bag. I love it. Appreciate you, Dom. As always.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time.